Hello folks, welcome back to the Urban Rider Studio. In front of me, we have what is widely regarded as the most beautiful full-face motorcycle helmet money can buy. And if you can think of a prettier helmet, I'll be curious to hear about it in the comments section down below. But I definitely think this has a strong claim to that title. This, of course, is the HEDON Heroine RACER. The new version, it's ECE 2206 safety standard approved, as is the returning HEDON Hedonist. Both of these helmets have been anticipated for a while, so it's great to finally get my hands on these in the flesh. Now, I recently got invited to the HEDON workshop actually to see these being made for myself, and I got to see the amount of care and attention and detail that goes into making a helmet as good as this. I think there's a few things to highlight on the quality of finish of these helmets if you are new to the brand that back up this claim that it is the most beautiful helmet you can buy. And to further back that up, one of their main aims with this helmet, with the designs, was to make sure that even non-bikers would stop and stare and say that is a nice helmet. And I really do think they meet that brief. And I'm not just using my own opinion on that, I have anecdotal evidence. The amount of times that I've been in the shop and seen people make a beeline to this, even non-bikers, even when you're in places like the bike shed, where I used to actually work, and we'd have the more extravagant designs, more extravagant colorways, and you would just get people stopping, picking it up, trying to put it on, which was actually a bit of a problem when it comes to a helmet as high-end as this, when people are kind of throwing it around. But it goes to prove how much they grab people's attention, as well as the fact that you'll see this used a lot in film and TV as well, where aesthetic is everything. So for them to pick a helmet like this means that it does stand out amongst the crowd. I think one of the main reasons for that is the simplicity of this helmet, which makes it somewhat timeless, which is great because they are long lasting because of the materials they use, how hard the shell is, which is exactly what you want when you're paying a premium like this. But it is a timeless design. It's so simple. It could work with retro classic styling. It can work with modern and futuristic styling as well. It does not date. And speaking to Reg at HEDON, it confirmed my suspicion that making a helmet as simple as this is arguably even harder than making a busier design look good, because there are so few things to look at on the helmet. You tend to fixate on the minor details, which means if the shape of it, the silhouette, the curvature of this helmet isn't exactly right, you will notice it. A lot of people do want a simple design. They don't want massive logos across the whole thing. They don't want huge branding. And with this one, all you get is a HEDON logo on your forehead. You get these metal details like the vents on there. And depending on the color, you have contrasting metal details and contrasting leather, but you can go for one that is the same color as the rest of the shell to blend in and make it look a little bit more stealthy. And the only sticker is on the back. That's the safety rating, the size and the weight. And of course you can take that off, and I think most people probably will. I believe at the time of making this video, we actually have it available in 8 different colorways, but I'm sure that will increase in the future, and it's not something they shy away from, and it's one of the identifying features and USPs to HEDON, the variety of different colors they have and the quality of the finish. They actually have an extended color range as well, some available by request, and they can do one-off unique colors to match things like your bike's own color. Obviously that will bump the price up, so do be aware of that, and you do have to message and ask nicely, but I don't think I'd even feel that was necessary for me because the range of colors they already offer are so nice. The colors I have on the table, in case you're wondering, are Molten Ash, which is this matte gray helmet in front of me. We have Stable Black, which is the matte black to my right, and then we have the two-face option in black and white. They have a starting price of £750. Now that is a premium price. It is a premium helmet, understandably, and it is more expensive than the previous version of the Heroine. But that is the case with practically all of the ECE 2206 safety approved helmets that we've had in. It has a few effects on helmets, one of which being that it does bump the price up somewhat. Now, some of the other things though that you expect from helmets that pass these new safer safety standards are that they generally are larger in shell size, which actually isn't the case on this occasion. These helmets are the same size, I'm assured, by the team at HEDON as the previous version, which is really impressive. They tell me that's because of improvements in the way they make these outer shells, which are even tougher now. They're also, so they tell me, slightly lighter, I believe, actually, than the previous version, which again is never the case. Sometimes you'll find they are the same weight as the previous version, but I don't think I've seen any helmet that's passed these new regulations and come in lighter, so that's impressive. Either way, however they claim that, the medium comes in around 1,200 grams, and the large in front of me is 1,330 grams, plus or minus 50 grams. But picking it up, you can tell this is a really light helmet. It's one of the lightest full face helmets we sell at the moment. I can say that with a lot of confidence. They actually make it in 3 different shell sizes, which is always good to see. The more shell sizes they offer, it means that it's more tailored to match the outer shell size with the internal size so that it doesn't look huge on your head. But that also helps with the comfort levels, the fit, and the protection as well, because it means they haven't had to pad it out on the inside to make it fit a larger variety of head shapes, because it is a little bit more tailor-made, if you like. The outer shell is a very tough and hard-wearing carbon reinforced fiberglass. The metal details around this helmet are a classy touch. Now, depending on the color that you go for, they will contrast more or less. Some of them are quite stealthy and blacked out. Other ones you'll notice are gold in color. Now, on these 2 helmets in particular, you'll notice they have these plastic fastenings around the visor. You actually do get metal fastenings in the box, which you can switch out, and those match the vents you can see around there, so the gold colorways on these. They have a calf leather trim and liner. Again, depending on the color that you go for, sometimes they contrast a little bit more. Now, something I will mention about that is it really depends how pristine you like your helmets to be over time, because you might want to consider how you put this down or how you store it, because obviously the leather on the bottom there, it's going to rest on and it's going to get a patina over time. Now, I personally would lean into that. I quite like that. It makes it unique, it makes it yours, and it's not going to damage the leather, it's just going to color it. But if you want to keep this pristine, maybe get a mount to put your helmet on so it's not resting on this line. Now, when it comes to the fit on these, they've always been a really comfortable helmet, and that's thanks in part to the quality of the liner, but I think it's been tweaked and improved. I believe I was told that by the team there. They've improved it on this version. Now, they were always a universal fit. They fit a variety of different head shapes. We usually describe that as an intermediate oval for head shape, and the same is true of this. They are accurate in size as well. So to give myself as an example, I'm a size 58, sometimes 59, depends how much hair I've got going on or how recently I had it cut, but we're going to say a 59 for most helmets, and that puts me in a large in most helmets, and the same is true on this occasion, and it really was comfortable to wear. Of course, we have the size guide on the website if you need to refer to it at any point. You can find that using the links in the description. Another aspect to fit that I like to call out on new ECE 2206 helmets is I've noticed a trend where the neck strap is usually mounted ever so slightly further back, and on some helmets you feel that against your neck, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable. I didn't notice that on this one, so it is really comfortable around the neck also. And it uses a double D-ring closure system down there. An improvement over the previous version of the Heroine RACER is that the cheek pieces are now removable. You can take those out and change them, and they offer them in different sizes as well. So you can tailor make your fit to some extent. And I do like to do that with my helmets because we've all got different face shapes. Whilst you might well have a similar sized head at the top there, your cheeks might be different. For me, I've got quite hollow cheeks and quite a large head, so they don't tend to match up. So I tend to change my cheek pieces and make them slightly thicker so that I get a better fit. It's pretty simple to do. You can very quickly just snap these out and of course change the cheek pieces as you might require. And there is also room, if you do want to fit an intercom, you can fit your speakers in there. Although I have to say, I would find that very difficult to do on a helmet like this, just because it is so clean looking. I really wouldn't want to stick an intercom unit on the side there, but if you want to, the option is there. Some more practicalities, of course, you have vents on the forehead there, which will direct airflow through. I have to admit, it's not going to be the most breathable helmet that we stock, but it's still good to have some form of ventilation through there. It's also quite open on the chin, so you will still get some airflow through there as well. And then we've got some attention to detail, which HEDON do so well. Even the boxes you get these in are high standard for boxers, which is a really small point, but they really care about the presentation. An aspect that, in my opinion, some manufacturers overlook is the quality of the visor, and that is definitely not the case with HEDON. They have a really high quality visor, loads of different colors as well, and that's a huge USP to HEDON. There's a huge range of colors, and they all go really well, unsurprisingly, with the rest of their color schemes. Obviously, we've got the tinted one on this. They also come with a form of double glazing, if you'd like, similar to a system that Bell employs. Similar also to Pinlock, to be honest. It's just that with Pinlock, and it's a tiny detail, you have something to the outside of the visor for the little pins that it fastens to. And HEDON didn't want that. They wanted it to be as clean as possible. So they've gone with a secure double layer on the inside, which is already attached, as you can see from these. So it works very similar to Pinlock, but it's a little bit neater looking. And they've improved the visor mechanism on this new version. So on the previous version, it still had these metal attachments, which are really nice to work with, especially for myself and Will when we have to change visors on a shoot. We don't like having to bring extra tools with us, and you don't need to on this occasion. It just screws off like so. And then what you'll see underneath is that, unlike with the previous version where you'd have to tighten that down, and then that would clamp against the visor and the outer shell, meaning that it was a little bit stiffer, and over time, opening and closing it might well loosen off that outer fixture. So on this one, the visor is separate in the mechanism from this, which screws again into the shell, but doesn't interfere with it, so it will stay securely in place. That is a nice improvement. And you've got multiple stops along here as well, so you can half crack it if you want to. You've got a few different settings in there, enough at least, to add some variety in how you want to wear your helmet, how much air you want to get through there, and it does work really, really smoothly. And then when you want to change your visor, say you've gone from summer into winter and you know you're going to need that clear visor back, it's very easy to do so. Hopefully that answers all of your questions, if you hadn't, about this helmet. But if you have any further questions, drop them in the comment section down below. Links for these can be found in the description, and I will see you soon. Bye.